you remember about the 1986 FIFA World Cup? You probably remember Diego Maradona, perhaps for the hand of God. Or perhaps for one of the finest goals ever. You might remember France and Brazil fighting their way to a penalty shootout. Or the amazing crowds at almost every match. But if you're a Belgian football fan, you'll simply remember the best time of your life. They were a good squad. 6 years previously, they'd reached the European Championship final, but they'd only qualified for Mexico after a playoff. Indeed, they were drawn in the same group as the hosts and were designated sacrificial lambs for the first Mexico match.
It was certainly a difficult game, but we knew it would be beforehand. Having to play the home team in front of 120 to 130,000 fans who are all supporting Mexico makes it very difficult. As a result, we didn't play well at all, and we lost.
Jan Ceulemans is the most capped player in Belgium's history. He was captain in '86, but could do little against a Mexican team on a wave of patriotic fervour. The hosts easily won 2-0. But Belgium weren't finished. A dour win over Iraq and a draw with Paraguay saw them scrape into the second round. And there, Ceulemans found himself shaking hands with Anatoly Demyanenko, captain of a brilliant Soviet team.
At that moment, I think Russia was the best team in the tournament. They were very strong and could score goals with ease. And then there was us, having a lot of difficulties. Those games against Mexico and Iraq, they weren't good at all.
The Soviets had put 6 goals past Hungary in the group stages, and in Igor Belanov had one of the players of the tournament. And it was Belanov who put the Russians ahead midway through the first half.
Belanov at that point was one of the best strikers in the world, and possibly the fastest as well. I don't know how many goals he scored in the entire tournament, but it was at least 3. He was in great form.
But while the Soviets could attack, they were shakier in defence. Enzo Scifo equalised for the Belgians after an hour. Only for Belanov to restore the Russian lead. But with time running out, Belgium's captain stepped forward.
I think we were in possession of the ball. It had come back to our side, and then Stefan de Mol delivered a long through ball. I ran after it, and with my back towards goal, I trapped the ball on my chest, turned round and whacked it into the net. Initially, I thought I might be offside, but the goal stood, and that brought us right back into the game at 2-2. Our confidence flooded back, and we started to play really well.
Extra time followed, and Belgium pulled 4-2 ahead. Only for Belanov to complete his hat-trick and bring the score back to 4-3.
We were still shaking for 5 or 10 minutes afterwards, but I think overall it was one of our finest ever performances.
The result was in doubt until the very last kick of 120 glorious minutes. Pfaff tipped Evtushenko's shot over the bar, and the match was over. Belgium had won one of the finest games in World Cup history. For the first time ever, Belgium were in the quarter-finals, playing Spain. Belgium were on top throughout the first half and took the lead through their captain.
I remember the ball coming to Verkouteren over on the left. Frankie Verkouteren was capable of crossing the ball perfectly, and because we'd been playing together for quite a while in the national team, I knew where the ball was going to go. I remember I timed my run very well, arrived at the near post at just the right time, and headed it past the keeper. It was a nice goal, as well as an important one.
But the Spanish weren't finished yet. A fabulous strike from Senor sent the match into extra time. There was no more scoring, so this time it would be decided by penalties. And perhaps this gave Belgium the advantage because their goalkeeper was world-renowned.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, Jean-Marie Pfaff was and remains the best Belgian goalkeeper of all time.
Pfaff saved Eloy's penalty, and shortly afterwards, Leo van der Elst sent his nation into the semi-finals. Little Belgium were now far into uncharted territory, but they knew all about their opponents. They were Argentina.
We knew we had a chance against them, but we needed to try to block out Maradona. It worked for a long time, but you just can't keep such a player out of the game for 90 minutes. And unfortunately, we failed. He escaped twice, and that was that.
Die bepaalde over winst en verlies.
"2-0 was the final score. Belgium's adventure was at an end. But for all who took part in it, it remains the high watermark of their nation's football.
I still remember when I was very young being asked at school what I wanted to do when I grew up. I immediately replied that I wanted to be a professional footballer. And then, so many years later, I found myself captain of the national team. Well, that was a dream come true. Being able to turn your hobby into your profession is a wonderful thing.
1986. It wasn't only the year of Maradona, it was also the year of the Red Devils.